Well, she's certainly possible. Simone Bresi-Ando, the creator of I'mPOSSIBLE, is with us. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
Very well indeed. Well, we all feel that everything is possible now that you're here in the studio. Now, can you explain, because you've got another event, because I think we saw a clip of the first event last June.
That's right. That was the inaugural event. And so what it's called is the I'mPOSSIBLE conversation.
Right.
So our next event, the second event, is on Wednesday, the 8th of February, and it's sponsored by our friends at Pearson, and it's happening on the Strand. And so, do you want me to tell you a little bit more about it?
Well, the reason why I'm interested is because I've got a lot of sister friends, of course. I mean, they always gravitate around a man like me. Yeah. I'm warm, I'm warm, and I'm open. And people like Devon as well.
Careful, be careful, my wife is watching.
But I mean, and during the time that I've been a journalist, I've reported on and interviewed many women about events like this, going back to about 1990. I'm just wondering what you're adding to it, because there are so many organisations that have come and gone, all saying, we're about empowering the sisters.
Yes, definitely. I think where I'mPOSSIBLE is different is that actually I'm creating a platform, I'm creating a network, and I'm creating sort of portals where the lives, the life stories, the experiences and our achievements are actually put out there in the public domain unedited. Right. So it's not about me preaching or standing on a sort of pedestal telling people how to live their lives. It's more about people telling people, the world, and other women of colour in Britain and globally how they are living, how they find the world, what they think about current affairs, what they think about politics and other things like that, because we don't have many platforms which do this in a nurturing and empowering type of way. And also it's digitally driven, so that is different from what we've had that's gone before. And I think it's dynamic, it fits into people's lives as and when they want it.
I love that, the 2Ds, digital and dynamic.
That's right.
So the forum is one where you have 4 or 5 women who've done well, who are quite prominent. I mean, I recognise a few, Precious Williams, the writer, Bonnie Greer, of course, the cultural critic, Angela Ferreira, a friend of mine, who's been on this sofa as well, television executive. And what I've done it, I've achieved a degree of success. Here's how I did it, here's the highs, here's the lows, how?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the whole conversation is about talking about how these women have defined success on their own terms. It's very important we think and we focus on their own terms. I'mPOSSIBLE is not here to tell you what success means to you, but it will certainly highlight and signpost tools in where you can make this definition for yourself and give you ideas and give you some inspiration and support on the way. So, yeah, this conversation is basically a mix of inside the Actors Studio and Oprah's Legends Luncheon. So it's great. It's the love child of it.
That's how we don't get any legal letters from it. What do you think, Mel?
It's a mix. It's a love child. It's not it.
What do you think? Because, I mean, do you feel this is needed, or do you think, well, I've heard this kind of thing before?
No, well, I think it is needed. I think sometimes you've got maybe black women in positions, you may see them on television, and you think, oh, she's done really well. You may hear a talk as such, but you don't really hear how they went about it, what they've done, and as you say, the lows. And I think that's the worst thing. Sometimes we're held up to try and meet a standard, and we don't realise that people have a lot of falls before they get there. That's the realistic situation. We're kind of made to believe that the nice Hollywood-style story, Disney rather, everything's lovely, everything's nice.
I'm just wondering, because in the last few days we've seen clips of Michelle Obama doing push-ups, doing press-ups on the Ellen show. And of course she's a fantastic symbol for African-American women and women everywhere. Are you saying that women, African origin women in the UK need that one figure, or do need lots and lots of women to be prominent?
Well, what I can say is that looking at the stats of the amount of hits I get on my website, in October alone we have over 100,000 people watching our website, reading it and interacting with us on our social portals. And so that tells me there's a need for our conversations to take place. That tells me that we're not only a trusted kind of news provider, but we're also giving a sort of alternative element to what's out there. So I would say from that alone is showing us that, yeah, I think people think there is a need to see people that reflect them, or at least the ideas they have about themselves, at least where they want to go in life. They have a place where they can find that, and it's not a place that's skewed or negative. It's a place where they can actually interact at their own ease and leisure, and also, you know, they get something positive from it.
And what about this general conversation about gender? Because we've heard the Prime Minister talk about it, we've had other ministers saying that there aren't enough female presenters on certain BBC television programmes or in the boardrooms of the FTSE 100 companies. Does that work for you, or do you think to yourself, well, they're still not talking about the double whammy, being black and female? Or does what works for white middle-class women also help black women?
I would say that we have to look at ourselves, women, black people, any other group you want, not as a homogeneous mass. We are not. Our experiences are different, and this is exactly why I'mPOSSIBLE adds value to whatever we've got out there in a women's movement, if you want to call it, or even in just empowering women. No, I don't think the solutions for white middle-class women will be the same for black middle-class women. There are the black middle class, just to,
indeed,
you know, put in there.
Yes.
But, and also for working class women, I think we are all different, but we have to find solutions which actually work for each other, and we have to respect that. We have to respect those differences, and we also have to listen to each other and exchange knowledge and support each other where we may not have the expertise to do so, and not just dismiss another experience as being lowly or not something that should even be valued because it's not their experience. And so it's that kind of, you know, irritation I got from things that really powered me to start up I'mPOSSIBLE, and that's why I'm sitting here today, because I'm not one to kind of sit down and wait for anybody to kind of speak for me, and I'm trying to help other people speak for themselves.
As we can see now, some men get very, very nervous when women start talking in this way. Sisters doing it for themselves, if possible. I don't know, Devin, what say you?
Are you nervous?
You feel part of this conversation?
I don't feel nervous at all. I had a very assertive mother and other relations, and they were instrumental in helping me become who I am. In fact, I'm part of a group called I'mPOSSIBLE, which was set up a year ago after our concerns of some of our elders that the gap between us and the young people, the escalation of youth violence, had to be addressed, and how to establish a relay so we could hand on the baton to this coming generation. And we set up a number of conversations. I'mPOSSIBLE means a conversation in Swahili. And they're the major women's conversation, which Saturday before last at the Women's Resource Centre in central London. Black women were already engaged or concerned about this issue. They're the mothers and sisters of many of the young people who are dying, and wanted to take this initiative. We found it harder to get the men into conversation. Men tend not to want to talk about things amongst themselves. They want to talk about women, they want to talk about other peripheral things. So I'm responsible for trying to get the men conversation going. But this is really important, these kind of more and more opportunities for us to debate, discuss, talk with each other and understand our different perspectives.
So as long as the network gets wider, though, because I go to so many events myself, and sometimes I worry that it's still a tight group of people who kind of know each other, the same 80 or 100 people, they recycle each other from event to event. I was looking at some of the women who've appeared at your first event and those who are coming in the second. You know, successful, of course, quite high profile, slightly media orientated. What about women who aren't so well known, but who are as successful, if not even more, like the women that you see on the power list?
Of course.
What about
and
those
so, so some of them who are on my next event are definitely on the power list, and that's where some of them were brought to my attention, and some of them I've known before as well. So we have Margaret Casely-Hayford, who's the chief head of legal at John Lewis and Waitrose. We've also got Dr. Uchenna Okoye, who's the teeth lady, for 10 years younger. I hope she approves of mine. And then we also have Miss Samantha Tross, who's the first black female consultant, orthopaedic consultant in this country.
I stand corrected. So just explain again
how we grow.
What's going to happen. So this is it this Thursday?
This Wednesday, February the 8th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can find out all about the event at www.I-am-possible.com. And everything is on there that you need to know. You can also interact with us on Facebook and Twitter. We have a very lively hashtag that works every Tuesday called Talking Tuesdays. We push out 4 questions about the current affairs, and we ask women of colour and all our followers, which are not just women of colour, to get involved and tell us their thoughts, unabridged, unedited. You tell us our thoughts using the Talking Tuesdays hashtag.
My word. I was going to make a joke about a tropical storm, Simone, but I'll actually call you a hurricane.
Hurricane, I don't mind that actually.